Allen Iverson, a former MVP, 11-time All-Star. He's part of the Big Three League. Starts June 26th on this network. Well, we just met for the first time, and I said to you, wow, this is Allen Iverson. So we were talking about this. When you were in the NBA, you were part of the people. There's a lot of Magic, corporate America, love Magic. Magic smiles, Magic's in L.A. You were about the street. You were about the people. Right. And I don't know, I don't remember specifically, but did you ever feel like you didn't quite get the corporate love from the NBA or the push, but you were beloved by Joe on the street?
Right. I had, a lot of love for, my people. They had a lot of love for me. I didn't feel like I didn't get my just due. The opportunity was great for me. It was a dream come true. I had the opportunity to do a lot of things that a lot of guys that grew up in my neighborhood would have never had a chance to do. So my life is a blessing.
Did you feel you represented a segment of NBA fans, or did you just go out and play?
I just went out and played. I know I represented the culture, the hip hop culture. I represented coming from the projects,
right.
And being that person that kids from the project could look up to and know that their dreams come true.
When you would go to the projects and go back, because you were one of those guys, you were very loyal to your friends.
That's right.
When you would go back, what were you treated like?
Just Chuck from the neighborhood. You know what I mean? For the younger guys, it was different for them. You know what I mean? Just seeing me on TV all the time. Right. But, with the adults, I'm just a guy from the neighborhood that was blessed and fortunate to make it out of there.
Allen, you played as hard as anybody. You were a tremendous defensive player.
Defensive?
Well, no, I mean both ways. But, you played real defense.
I was good in the passing lane.
I love Kyrie, but he didn't play the defense. You played defense. You were aggressive. You could do everything. Was there, I can go back and look at Michael Jordan highlights. You were one of the only guys to mess up Michael. Go back, because you played against LeBron and Michael. Mm-hmm. If I'm right, Michael was your idol.
Right.
What was it like the first time you were on the floor against him?
I remember having the speech in my Hall of Fame speech, and it was crazy because the first time I saw him, I don't know if you've seen it in the Chappelle show. And he talked about Charlie Murphy talked about Rick James and how he didn't look real to him. It's like you could see his aura, his glow.
Yeah.
And that's how it was for me. You know what I mean? When I seen him, I remember looking down and saying, "Damn, he got on the Jordans for real." You know what I mean? I was just so starstruck. You know what I mean? But when the ball went in the air, it was showtime.
Now, it would be very obvious moments when you're on the floor. Michael could talk trash, but you were the kind of player that you were so explosive. I compare you to Westbrook now. What was your trash talk with Michael like? Was there a level of respect toward each other?
Always. I wouldn't, without Michael Jordan, I wouldn't have had the vision. You know what I mean? He made me want to play basketball. I honestly wanted to be like Mike. You know what I mean? And that commercial meant so much to me because I was one of the people that wanted to be like Mike. So I owe a lot to him. That's why I thanked him the way I did in my Hall of Fame speech, because, I really believe that as a basketball player, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, there wouldn't be no Allen Iverson.
You also faced LeBron.
Right.
A different component because physically he's a forward. You saw the best of Michael, and you saw a very young LeBron. What was your first impression of LeBron?
I saw him actually in high school. I went to see one of his games because he was so highly touted, and they were playing in Philadelphia, and I was with the Sixers, obviously, and I went to see him. And from the time that I saw him play, I knew that he was going to be special.
Why? What
just everything, just having everything on the basketball court, and just knowing the game so well at an early age, being the height that he was, strong as he was, being able to run as fast as he run, being able to handle the ball, and like I said, just a a very, very high basketball IQ.
Allen Iverson joining us, absolute legend, 11-time All-Star, part of the Big Three League, airs on FS1 Monday night starting June 26. His company is Three's Company, which has the Kobe stopper Ruben Patterson, Mike Sweetney, Andre Owens, and DeMar Johnson, who's the shooter on the team. You and him are going to have to Ruben's not a great shooter. You'll have to do some shooting. You're a coach player.
Right.
Do you still work out?
With my sons, not as much as I used to. I got my high school coach flying in tomorrow, and for the next month, he's going to be working with me, just get me in basketball shape.
What do you do now, Allen? I know what Magic's doing. I know what Bird's doing. What are you doing an average week, day?
I'm doing the things with my kids that I wasn't able to do when I was playing. Just being there more. I consider myself now a 24/7 dad. So I'm enjoying the fruits of being able to take them to school, picking them up, helping them with homework, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Being able to go on field trips with them, going to all the parent-teacher meetings, you know, all of those things I get a kick out of now. That's where I get my rush from.
Being Michael Jordan or Allen Iverson's dad, them are big shoes to fill.
Right.
Like, how does that land with you?
I'm patient, and I understand, like, you know, as far as their basketball careers, it's hard for me to critique them, and it's honestly constructive criticism, but they take it the wrong way a lot of times, you know, because I'm dad. You know, they take it as I'm punishing them by saying the things that I say when it comes to their game. So a lot of times I always go to their coach, and the message that I want to relay to them, I give it to him, and then he give it to them. And, you know,
Smart dad.
They, you know, they absorb it a lot better than when I do it.
You know, Allen, one of the great things, you're very appreciative, clearly, of what you had. Basketball now is almost a suburb game. It's played everywhere. It's played in Europe. It's played here. I don't know in the 50s, 60s if it was the same. Go back if you could and share with my audience if you can. And I know it's kind of a private question, but in your personal life when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, from what I hear from you where you came from, it was tough.
Mm.
And you probably played against other great players who didn't get out.
Right.
They didn't have the guidance. They got hurt. They didn't, maybe other circumstances in their life took them away from basketball. Were there guys in your neighborhood that were, if not as good, close to equally talented that just didn't get out?
Definitely. And just choosing, just making the wrong decisions. I would just say not having the right guidance, not having somebody, a mentor to look up to listen to be afraid of at points.
Who were you afraid of?
I was afraid of my mentor now, Gary Moore. Met him when I was 8 years old. My mom worked with him at Avon, and she told him about me. And one day he came to our neighborhood and just sat in the car and watched me play. And been history since then. And it was somebody that I looked up to. He had a wife and a little daughter and went to work every day and worked hard. And I respected him, you know what I mean, as a man. He was someone that I looked up to. So it was easy for me to listen to him when it came to guiding me, you know, out of the situation that I was in.
Do you remember some of the first conversations? How did he hit your heart? How did he land? How did he do it?
I think the first one of the first situations when I was failing in school, and I remember him coming to my friend's house. I was sitting outside talking with him, and he just grabbed me and, you know, slammed me on his mom's windshield, and it broke. And he had tears in his eyes, and, you know, he was basically saying, do you want to die? Do you want to go to jail for the rest of your life? You know what I mean? Do you want your mom to live in the situation that she's living in? Well, if you want those things, stay on the path that you're on. You know, if not, straighten up and do what you got to do. And from that point on, I realized how much, you know, he cared about me and cared about my future.
Legend Allen Iverson, Big Three League, FS1 Monday night starting June 26. I love that you're telling people stories. This is an amazing moment for me. Your first big check. Now, obviously, it's money. But do you remember the first time the Philadelphia 76ers, you got a check, and you looked at that check, and it changes your life to some degree? Money does change your life.
Yeah. I was basically a fish out of water. You know what I mean? You go from not having anything in your life to all of a sudden having everything, and it's so hard for guys at the age of 21 to adjust to something like that. You know what I mean? I've came up with so many cousins and uncles and aunts and relatives, so many different friends from all over the world, and it's tough at that age to distinguish who love you for you and who care about you for you.
Yeah.
Than them trying to get something from you.
Plaxico Burress just talked about that.
Absolutely.
About the Players Tribune, Allen Iverson. It's funny, you got to the finals, a couple minutes left, and if I recall, that Sixers team, you flew through the Eastern Conference. You didn't lose many games, did you?
No, we
11-0.
We were in wars. We went to a couple game sevens.
And then you faced the Lakers. Oh, the Lakers were 11-0.
Yeah.
You got through the East. You won the first game.
Right.
That Laker team was stacked.
Yeah.
Were you surprised you won the first game?
No. We weren't surprised that we were there. You know what I mean? We believed in each other. We definitely believed in Coach Brown and the coaching staff.
Damn, they had Shaq. Didn't you know they were better?
They had Shaq in his prime. They had Kobe in his prime, and the rest of those guys. You know what I mean? And we just ran into a better team.
Right.
At that point, we were so beat up. We had so many injuries. But that's not an excuse because everybody's hurt, that time of the year. They were just a better team than us. You know what I mean? And we gave everything we had. So we were cool afterwards because we knew we gave everything we had and we understood we got beat by a better team.
Yeah, I mean, they were an unbelievable team.
Right.
So you're part of this big three, which is there a guy in the league now you'd pay to watch? You get free tickets, but if you could pay to watch one guy.
Westbrook.
Yeah, well, that's you.
Steph. Love watching Steph. I always love watching LeBron.
You're not an anti-LeBron guy.
Who, me?
No, I mean, a lot of people are.
Oh, no, I love LeBron. I mean, I hate the comparison with him and Mike.
You have to.
I mean, and that tells you so much about what type of player he is if you can compare somebody to Black Jesus. You know what I mean? But LeBron is going to be, he'll be on the Mount Rushmore of basketball players. But, a guy like me that looked up to Mike the way I did, I can't put anybody before Mike. I wanted to be like Mike, and so many kids want to be like LeBron.